In her creative writing class, Wendi Adelson wrote and spoke about her mother Donna. Let's take a look and see what she had to say about Donna 10 months after Dan's death. Wendi was writing in response to this prompt. What is the story you tell about your relationship with your mother? This was for a creative writing class that was later made into a podcast. And I'll put the link for it down below. It's an excellent podcast if you're interested in writing at all. What I find fascinating about this prompt is that it's saying, what is the story you tell about your relationship with your mother? Not what is your relationship with your mother. They're two very different things. I'm not sure Wendi analyzed it to that depth, but I do appreciate this prompt as an excellent creative writing prompt. Let's see how Wendi approached it.
My mom and I have lived together for almost a year. She is selfless, generous, loving, and beautiful. She thinks she is fat. She once got turned down for Weight Watchers because she didn't have enough excess weight to be admitted to the program. She thinks she is stupid. My mom, who won the New York Spelling Bee for middle schoolers when she was only in the 6th grade. I'm so many of the things I am because of who my mom is and who she wants me to be. I was valedictorian of my high school. She seemed proudest that I graduated high school still a virgin. I try to draw boundaries with my mom because lately there aren't any. She is caring for my children right now so that I can be here in class, more like a co-parent than a grandmother. But I accept it because as a former kindergarten teacher, she is so adept in that role. She taught my boys how to recite the 44 presidents, just like she taught me when I was 4. I see myself in them, reciting, receiving praise. She has completely changed her life because mine fell apart. I write letters to her in my head every day, ones of immense gratitude for facilitating my return from the bottom. But when we speak, in the few fleeting moments when the kids or my dad don't need something, it comes out like, is the dishwasher clean? And if not, should I run it? Or something else inconsequential about laundry or groceries or aspects of daily life.
Wendi appears to approach the prompt quite literally. She wants to just speak about her mom, not a story she tells about her mom. She begins by saying they've lived together for almost a year. That's interesting in that she lived with her for a whole lifetime before she went off to college, but she focuses in on the past year since Dan's death. I think that actually makes perfect sense given that she's probably thinking of the immediacy of the moment. She sees Donna all the time, and Donna does tend to be very involved in Wendi's life, as we saw with her emails and different things that came out during the trials. Wendi calls her selfless, generous, loving, and beautiful. I'm just going to leave those right where they are. To listen to this description implies that Donna doesn't have a fault. It's interesting, I've noticed this in other things that Wendi has written. There's not a lot of gray area. You're either totally accomplished and put together, like her children are thriving and well, or you're not. There's not a lot of nuance for anywhere in between. So in this sentence, Donna is the perfect mother. She thinks she's fat. She got turned down for Weight Watchers. She thinks she's stupid. She won the spelling bee for New York State in 6th grade. The writing is actually excellent. There's good juxtaposition and parallel structure there. It does reveal Donna's critical voice about herself. She thinks she's fat. She thinks she's stupid, even though facts say that's not true. Also, what she considers important, her looks and her intelligence. There's a theme that goes through a lot of what Wendi shares about the idea that accomplishment is everything. Not so much your heart, but what you have done and what you can show to the world. And we see this a little bit in what she's describing about Donna. I'm so many of the things I am because of who my mom is and who she wants me to be. I was valedictorian of my high school. She had to be the best. And she seemed proudest that I graduated high school, still a virgin. So maybe there is a little heart in there. In the most telling paragraph in what she wrote, she says, I try to draw boundaries with my mom because lately there aren't any. Which is insightful and fascinating because she brought up sort of the same thing during the trials when Georgia would talk to her about, is your mom overbearing? Does your mom interfere in your life a lot? And Wendi kind of laughed it off. Yeah, she does. She said, she's caring for my children right now so I can be here in class, more like a co-parent than a grandmother. But she doesn't expand on what that means, what either statement means. It would be fascinating to hear more about exactly what boundaries are being violated. Co-parent sounds like a more intense relationship with the kids than a grandparent. And it sounds like Wendi is concerned that Donna's a little bit over-involved, more like a co-parent than a grandmother. And she's not just caring for her children so that Wendi can take a class. Remember, Wendi is also starting her own law practice and doing a clerkship and doing this class and whatever else. So Donna essentially is taking over parenting for the children. And yet, even though she's concerned about boundaries and she sees that Donna may be getting a little bit over-involved or controlling about how the children are raised, she doesn't set boundaries with Donna. She justifies not setting them. I accept it because as a former kindergarten teacher, she is so adept in that role. Well, she may be, but they're still your kids, and you get to say how they're raised and what happens with them, and there shouldn't be, and Donna should have an understanding of that. She taught my boys how to recite the 44 presidents just like she taught me when I was 4. I see myself in them reciting, receiving praise. Actually, I am not overly impressed that someone is trying to get a 4-year-old to recite the 44 presidents. There isn't going to be a whole lot of understanding on the child's part about who these people are or what's important to them. It's an exercise in memorization, in long memorization, and then praise for getting that accomplished. So the praise comes when the children have recited the 44 presidents correctly. You do something good, you will get praise. Not just because they're awesome kids and she wants to praise them. There's not unconditional love here. There's the perform, you get praise. And Wendi was raised with the same thing. She has completely changed her life because mine fell apart. Back to Wendi's narrative about Dan's death. Did her life fall apart? She was already divorced, but she was the one that chose to move back to Miami. She could have stayed in Tallahassee. Has Donna completely changed her life, and does she regret it? Was it a sacrifice? This is what Donna wanted all along, was to have those grandchildren close to her. It's not so much of a selfless act on Donna's part. Wendi says, I write letters to her in my head every day, ones of immense gratitude for facilitating my return from the bottom. When was Wendi at the bottom? She went pretty much straight from that police interview to almost overnight going down to Miami with her parents. Maybe she had some emotional issues when she got there, but if her children are thriving after 11 months, isn't she? She listed all the things she'd been doing. But when we speak in the few fleeting moments when the kids or my dad, it makes me smile to think Harvey is getting lumped in with a 4- and 5-year-old for needs. Is he that needy? Or is he kind of the privileged king of the house and they wait on him? When the kids or my dad don't need something, they just have inconsequential conversations. So she paints a good picture here of a situation where there's a lot under the surface and it's all going unsaid. Is it her immense gratitude that she can't say to her mother? Or is it the fact that boundaries are being violated and she can't say that either? It paints a picture of a home where on the surface it seems fine, but underneath it's based on critical voices, performance, and not speaking your truth. And now, several years later down the road, we have a different picture of Donna, and Wendi has no contact with her. How things change. So what conclusions can we draw from this? Well, not a surprise that Wendi and Donna have an incredibly complex relationship, dealing with unspoken feelings, boundaries that are violated, a mix of gratitude and resentment. A lot of this seems a little bit ironic, given where things are now, with Donna about to stand trial for conspiracy to commit Dan's murder. And with Wendi, as far as I understand, not having any contact with Donna at all. But was this complex relationship, and let's face it, many of us have complex relationships with parents, did it cross the line from complex to murderous? You tell me your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You know the drill, it's YouTube. But we'd love to have you part of the Guilty Words family. You'll see in the comments it's a lively bunch with a lot of great opinions, and I learn a lot in your comments, and I always appreciate suggestions for videos too. And until we meet in the next video, please use your words wisely and well. Take care.